Welcome to this October edition of Hogs and Heroes Mission Report. I'm your host, the National IT Trustee, Malinsky.
And I'm Devildoc, the National President and Founder of the Hogs and Heroes Foundation.
Devildoc, it's great to have you here with us. It's a real honor to be able to, fill in into Lullaby's seat for this episode.
Thank you, Malinsky. I'm glad to be here.
We were talking a little bit before the show about how 501c3s operate, especially ones such as the Hogs and Heroes Foundation, and also how it can be somewhat confusing for some of our members and even the general public. So you had the great idea of discussing and kind of wanting to lay out how we operate in that fashion.
Well, we'd like to do this. We'd like to get that word out there about how we need to operate legally and morally as a foundation. And so I'll just give you a little bit of a history lesson first. When we first started the Hogs and Heroes back in 2010, we had to make some hard decisions on what type of charity we were going to be. And what I mean by that is whether we were going to remain what's called a pass-through organization or whether we were going to be a grantor organization. Grantor organizations give money to individuals. We never give money to individuals, and we do that for a very good reason. There are plenty of great 501c3s out there that have very low administrative costs. So we wanted to be, sort of the group that vetted those organizations to make sure that the highest amount and percentage of money donated to us went to the cause. How we achieve that is when a chapter, all chapters need to be a nonprofit corporation within their state, not a 501c3, but a nonprofit corporation. When they raise money for an entity that they want to donate to, that money needs to come to the national and go through the national, and then we issue a check in that chapter's name to that charitable organization. Now, there are some other operating procedures that we have. Chapters are free to raise money for their own chapter for their operating cost. They can even buy materials for things within our mission, for entities within our mission, without owing the national anything or falling within the 10% that we require.
So basically what you're saying is that if a chapter wanted to purchase themselves a canine vest, bulletproof vest or something, they could donate that directly.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
They could purchase the vest and donate it to the police department, sheriff's department, or whatever, but it has to be that vest. It can't be the money for the vest.
Gotcha. Yeah. Which is a great way because that's ensuring that that item is actually is like what the money is intended for goes directly to that.
That's
that purpose.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And so I'll give you an example of when they make a donation. Let's say a chapter raises $1,000 for a particular entity, and they want $1,000 to go to that entity. They would send the national $1,100. That's the amount they want to donate plus the 10%. Mm-hmm. Okay, we then cut a check to that entity in the chapter's name and send it back to the chapter, and then they present it to that entity.
Okay.
The $100 comes to the national. Out of that money, we use that for our operating cost and also making donations to other charitable organizations. So what that means is we're actually better than a 90%. We've calculated that we're actually a 93% organization. So everybody can feel comfortable that 93% of the money that comes in goes to that cause. That a minimum of 93% goes to that cause.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's actually an amazing number because really there's not a lot of organizations out there that even reach that level. And, there's lots of wonderful ones out there. But the great thing I think what I find is so efficient in how Hogs and Heroes is laid out is the chapter system because, a lot of times people might be concerned that when they donate money, it doesn't go back locally into where they're at. But with the chapters, you're able to pinpoint right where you want that either that funds to go or the object or item that you're donating goes to.
The chapters can make the decision on where that money goes. That's one of the most important things. As long as it's within our mission statement. They have to be a 501c3 and it has to be within the mission statement. So, as everybody knows, our mission statement is police officers, firefighters, emergency medical workers, wounded warriors, and U.S. military entities. That's what we do, and we're proud to do it.
Absolutely. And speaking of being proud, I had the wonderful honor of attending the Maryland Cops Retreat in Ocean City just this last weekend, and was able to give a small speech just basically outlining the relationship between Maryland Cops and the Hogs and Heroes Foundation, and was able to let them know, and also just to proudly stand there and be able to say that the Hogs and Heroes Foundation since 2010 has donated over $85,000 to the Maryland Cops Foundation. That's a wonderful, wonderful achievement. I mean, it's something to be really proud of.
It's a lot of money over the years, and I can tell you that Sue Nickerson, the president of the Maryland Cops chapter, is a wonderful, wonderful person that really takes what she does to heart. She had a son that was killed in the line of duty, Michael Nickerson, in Centerville Police Department as a result of a domestic dispute that he responded to.
We'll just let that one roll.
Yep.
So
that's the in studio dog.
That's right. Yes, the in studio dog. Yep.
Studio dog. If everybody could hear that. So the Cops organization is such a great organization. They were one of the first groups that the National actually donated to, and we also participate in the annual Cops Ride every year as well. That comes from all over the state and usually ends at Prince George's County Police Lodge, FOP Lodge 89. It's a great time with vendors, music. They raise lots of money for Maryland Cops.
So once again, that's just a good example of how a 501c3 operates. And of course, there's guidelines that we're planning on putting up on the website as well for people ever want to have any questions about it. And that you can also email us at info@hogsheroesfoundation.com. Go to the website hogsheroesfoundation.com. If you ever have any questions about where the money goes or what it's being used for, and of course, if you're in amongst the membership in that and you happen to see a member of National, and you just want some clarity, you can we're always more than happy to answer questions and help out.
Always contact a Hogs and Heroes National member. I suggest that you contact either the Vice President Lee Scribner or the Treasurer David Motordad Walsh, and those guidelines and rules of operation can be explained to you. We want to make sure that everybody has a good feeling about how we do things and what we do and why we do them the way we do them.
Now, and so speaking also of contacting the National Executive Board members, we're going to do a segment and probably spread it out over some episodes. We'll see how it falls out on the cutting room floor, but of a matter of basically getting to know some of your board members. So we're going to put some of that together here in this episode, and we'll see who the first board member you'll get to meet through that there today. So thank you very much on that part. I really do appreciate it. I think that's a lot of clarity, and hopefully that'll answer a lot of questions for people.
Thanks for having me today.
Right on.